Calvin's Kitchen. Let's make it hot. Tonight I want to talk to you about music. Yes, it is true that music cannot send you to hell. The thing about it is, once you clean your act up, or once you clean your soul up, your spirit up, you don't want to put everything in your spirit. You don't want to have all kinds of mess in there. And that's why they tell you, don't listen to certain genres. But as you was just listening, I was listening to a little gospel rap. It's got a positive music flow, and it's a positive influence on performance. So that's about music. What I'm really here to talk to you about is musicians in church. I'm not going to sit here and beat up on musicians in church. It's not going down. Because they got all kinds of stigmatisms about musicians in church, and that's not how it is. Every musician in church is not gay. Every musician in church is not just up there for the money. And every musician in church does not run around and try to sleep with everybody in the congregation. That is not how it goes down. What you talk about, I don't know. It just not happening. But what I do want to say is this. I want to say that musicians do have a responsibility to do certain things or to be a certain way. Because whether you realize it or not, music is a ministry. Music is definitely a ministry, and we have to understand that we're respected and people look up to us for being up there doing what we're doing. Now, for the young musicians, I'm really here for you tonight. Young musicians, do not just get disheartened. If you want to play a specific instrument, whether it be drums, guitar, it could be a keyboard, organ, whatever your choice may be. When you get to the point that you want to play that thing, give it everything you have. Do not allow anyone to stop you from reaching that goal. I say that to say this. When I first learned how to started playing, I started playing because of a need in the church. It seemed as though there was only one keyboardist in every church I ever went to. So if that keyboardist wasn't there, then we had no music. Well, we had drums, of course, but we had no music. So the people the singer could sing, but it just wasn't the same without that keyboardist. So with that in mind, I always said, you know what, I'm going to make it my point to learn how to play the keyboard so that I don't have to, so that my pastor and my church doesn't have to go without music again. So I made it my point to do so, and I started learning. Now, the great thing about learning the keyboard is it's a blessing to me. It's a blessing to me because it allows me the time to be by myself, to connect with God, and to do what I enjoy doing. It's a time for me to meditate. It's a time for me to look over what I've done. It's a time for me to say, God, thank you. And that's what I use it for. I will play inside of a congregation if I'm needed to. But if I'm not, hey, I'm just as happy being right here, playing at home by myself. So, with that being said, I want you to understand, young musicians, that playing a keyboard is not just about hitting a bunch of keys, playing a bunch of notes, trying to make it sound like the records you heard. Playing a keyboard is a ministry. And when you play a keyboard, my belief is that you should have a clean heart, a clean spirit, be of right mind, understanding that you're playing this keyboard not to the people, but to God, for the people. Understand that in that service, your obligation is to try to uplift, empower, and bring forth the sound that's gonna break chains. So learning the keyboard is fun. It's been fun. It's going to continue to be. So I'm always going to be a student. I think the keyboard is just like the Bible. Every time I get on it, I learn something new. And it's a wonderful journey. And I'm enjoying it more and more by the day. So, young keyboardists, you can't find anybody in your church, or the keyboardists at your church may not want to help you. Tell you that up front. They may give you all kinds of crappy stuff, tell you stuff like, I'll play by ear. I really don't, can't teach the keyboard. Well, that reason is because most keyboardists in churches do just that. They play by ear. They really don't know the chords they're making. They really don't know the scales they're using. They really pick one song, they have one set of notes, and every song they play, they use that set of notes to create that song, and they do the best they can from there. After they've done it so much, it sounds to the regular ear like it's, it's something great. But to a trained ear, you realize that they're just playing, that's the same key we played on the last song. That's the same chord was in that song before that. And then you start seeing the similarities through every song. You say, wait a minute, he's not changing keys. He's just playing the same keys in a different order, which is fine if you can do if that's what you want to do. Me, I chose to go out and I actually went out and got a book called Keyboarding for Dummies. This book, I started reading this book, and I had my keyboard ink painted up. I had numbers on it, letters on it. My keyboard was crazy. It was orange and black and red and yellow. I had marked up on it and everything because I wanted to know what I was doing, when I was doing it, while I was doing it. I didn't want to just play a song and know how to play it like it sounded. I wanted to know what I was doing while I was playing that song. And I suggest to you, if you can, do that. Get you a book, get you somebody, and learn exactly what you're doing and practice. So I'm gonna give you a quick lesson to let you show some stuff that I did while on the keyboard. Now I have my keyboard stacked. I like my keyboard stacked for two reasons. One, I usually nobody ever told me this, and I had to find this out on my own. So I'm telling you ahead of time. I stack my keyboards because I use one keyboard for a bass, a deep bass sound. So I hold my bass in one keyboard. The other keyboard I use, or rhythm in the bass keyboard, and the other keyboard is the one I run on my melody line, and I like that sound. So let me give you a quick taste of one of my sound on this keyboard. One of the sounds, my sounds that I like, I play on here. It sounds real worshipy. I like that worshipy sound. So that's what you'll hear. I actually created a sound of my own here. So I'm going to put that in. Just give you a chance to hear what it sounds like. So it's real worship. Now, I like to add to that worshipy sound. So when I add to that worshipy sound, this is what I get. So I don't like to make it too fight back. So let me show you. Now, once you find out the sounds you like, the sounds you really want to hear, you can pretty much take that sound, and put it with any song. You just have to learn the keys and stuff to play with it. So let's get a quick beat. So we're gonna speed that up a little bit. played, it was just, I made it up real quick with the beat. But that song, that sound I made, was just using just the black keys. Here's something that you guys can relate to. You'll see in the service a lot. Like I said, I use my top keyboard for my bass and for my beat. So this is a beat you're going to be getting used to, or at least you should. Yeah, that's that churchy beat. That's that one that you shout music, right? Check it out. Playing that, I learned a simple run on my left hand. You can find it on YouTube for anyone that have that run several different ways. I found a sound I wanted on here, and I just rhyme with it. That's what you want to do when you start to play. When you start to play, understand that it's your sound, it's your music, your way. And if you love it, then God is happy with it. Do one more song, let you show you something different. Now, this song right here is a song that I did learn from off the internet, and I play it with them, and then I embellished on it. So I took the song. You might know the song. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. That song. I forget who sang it. But whoever sang it, they sang it real slow, real nice, right? So what I did is I took the same song. I started off and I played it real slow. But I found out in a lot of churches, most drummers can't get with a slow beat. So I brought it up a little bit. So I'm gonna just give you a quick sound of what it sounds like, real quick. So the song goes. That's how the song goes, and that's fine. Some days you get in the church and you hear that song, and that's how you want it played. But when I played it for the first time, I was like, man, I love that song. But then I heard something different after I played it for myself. So try this out for size. that's what I did with it. Listen, music is what you feel. God bless music. So for all you young musicians out there, especially the ones in church settings, don't let someone tell you you can't do it. Like I said, 6 years, 7 years, I did it. So can you. I'm Calvin. This is Calvin's Kitchen. Let's make it hot.